Objective. I can identify the number of atoms of each element in a chemical formula. Chemical formulas look like this. They're a combination of letters and numbers. The letters represent elements, and the numbers either represent coefficients, large numbers in front, like this 3, or subscripts, small numbers that come behind an element, like this 6 right here. In order to find the total number of atoms of each element in a chemical formula, we just have to do a simple math problem of multiplying the coefficient, the large number in the front, by the subscript, the small number that comes after an element. In this formula right here, there's no number at the front of it. That means that the coefficient is an invisible number 1. In order to find the number of atoms of C, carbon, I'm going to say coefficient 1 times its subscript 6. 1 times 6 equals 6. There's 6 atoms of carbon in that formula. Coefficient of 1 times 12, the number that comes after the H, means that there's 1 times 12, or 12 atoms of H in this formula. Lastly, let's look at the oxygen. The coefficient, the large number in front, is 1 times the subscript, the small number that comes after the O, is 6. So we have 1 times 6, or 6 atoms of oxygen in that formula. Now let's look at this equation. We're going to do the same thing, multiplying the coefficient times the subscript. For H's, we have a coefficient, or a large number in front, of 3. So we are going to do 3 times the subscript, the number that comes behind the H, which is 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. There's 6 atoms of hydrogen in this formula. Next up is the S. Again, we're multiplying coefficient times subscript. The coefficient, the large number in the front, is still 3. Notice that there is no number that comes behind the S. That means that its subscript is an invisible number 1. We're going to multiply 3 times the invisible number 1. That means that there's 3 atoms of sulfur in this compound. Finally, the oxygen. We want to do the same thing. Multiply the coefficient, the large number in the front, by the subscript, the small number that comes behind the element. In this case, the coefficient is 3, and the subscript, the small number behind the oxygen, is a 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So there are 12 atoms of oxygen in this formula. Always remember that the coefficient goes with everything that comes behind it. And if there is no subscript or no coefficient, it means that it's an invisible number 1.